Hi Zella, welcome. How's it going? What puzzle? It's Caveman Rock. Ah! 23 months! Thank you so much. Oh, hey, my alerts are working! Yes! They broke last week and I spent some time trying to fix it. I wasn't sure if it worked. Yeah, so the only puzzle that I've liked so far is Caveman Rock. I've got, sorry. I think I'm at 80% on it now. I'm on medium. So the first, I think 70% of it was just one instrument at a time, and then bam, 3 instruments at once. And I did manage to get it, so I'm hoping I can finish the rest on medium instead of having to go to the easiest level setting, I mean. Yeah, well, I tried doing it on X, on they changed the, sorry, it's novice, expert, and genius, I think. So I tried it on genius, and the samples that they have were too similar for me to tell the difference. Was, yeah, so that was frustrating. However, that last puzzle that I did in it, that were 3 instruments at once, that took me well over an hour just for the one puzzle. So, even if I manage the last 2, could be a while. And thank you for doing the shout out, Mushberry. how's the wedding dress going? Where's... where is it? I really don't like it when the coaster sticks to my cup. Yeah, yes, Mushberry, I do. It's all sticky. Just gonna check the other one while we're here. Scott. Yeah. A little bit. Thank you. Exciting events on the Demona stream. Ah. Content. Alright. There's a spider building a web. between the computer and the footrest. It's less than ideal. Alright, now that excitement is over, let's get the game started. Here. Don't know why I'd put it all the way over there, but okay.
In testing his latest invention, Dr. Brain thought he was merely teleporting himself into last week to find his car keys.
So I set up.
In actuality, he hopelessly thrust himself into the unexplored regions of the space-time disk heat.
Ow.
Mouse problems.
Ow.
Why? It's somehow way worse on this screen. Like, I don't...
Ow.
So awful. I don't know who thought...
Ow.
Can I, like, use the keys here? No, of course not. God. I'll never not complain about that menu.
I hope you're ready to rock. Let's gig with the musicians, baby.
Did you say let's gig with the musicians? Oh yeah. Okay, so gotta have guitar. Not the accordion. Or the bass. We've got drums. Drums, you know. Gotta start off with the hardest for me. These sections are all pretty long. Oh! No, you haven't told me about the censoring of names in this game. Do tell. Let's try. Okay. Gig is a hip and with a musician word. We should use it. Like, they're clearly very different, but because they're so long, it's gonna be kind of difficult, I think, to pick it out. This one starts off with the, and then that one's got that like crash towards the end. All right, we'll see how it works once we're playing the bit. Okay. Why is she still hitting the drums there? So they have a thing that doesn't allow you to put in certain words as your name when you start a new game. One of those words was Christ, which made it impossible for people to named Christopher or Christian or Christina to use their names for this game. But also, man, some censoring decisions are weird. Yeah, why don't they want Jesus to play their game? The old Scunthorpe problem. I think they don't want Jesus to play their game because he would never forgive them. Yes, keep hitting those drones. Alright, let's get to it. So we got a whole lot of, like, before we get into the hi-hats, there's probably going to be a lot of these too. That one's obviously to start with. What? God damn it, sorry, the mouse. The mouse! It strikes again. Come on. There we go. And then this one probably just loops for a while. Oh, it's gonna be tough counting those out. After all, maybe it might be easier to do the guitar part first. Ugh. Alright. Kind of got a feel for how long each of these bars is. Okay. Okay. Counting time. So it's actually sounds like just that, and then it starts off with, I think, this one? Sounds like. Come on, don't do this to me. Just looking ahead, I'm like, how long is this one gonna be? Oh yeah, and if you're wondering the Scunthorpe problem, if you haven't heard of it before, there's a place called Scunthorpe, and they have had difficulty in the past with automated censoring things. It is spelled Scunthorpe, so you can see what the problem is there. It's just used as a general, it's the name that they, like Scunthorpe problem is just what they call it when you have names of places and words that tend to get censored out. You have to figure out how to work around that. Censored Thor? Odd choice. You know, they don't want to get religious. just to be sure, I'm gonna count it one more time. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's supposed to do that. Yeah. How many bars of rest was that? Everyone just stopped playing for a few seconds. You know what? I must have scratched the record. You're right. Yeah, these are 8 bars. Excuse me. This is 8 too, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. This looks like 6? 1, 2, 3. No, 5. Okay. So, hope it doesn't do that again. You have to count it again. Oh no, I lost count, sorry. I lost my spot. Huh. Did I count that right? This one... I think I did... Because that didn't... Sounds like it went into this one. God dang it. I must have counted it wrong. Getting geared up for counting. Urgh. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I did count it wrong last time. Definitely had this one in there. And then I think this one. look at that. We're more than halfway done the drum part already, probably. This is almost certainly just going to be at the end. I mean, when else would that show up? Let me guess. I don't know, that's not enough. Probably going to want this and something? Ugh. Could have bars of rest at the end like before. I don't know. Okay. This one was 5. Probably gonna go into this. And what? Let's see this one. Seven, 8, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just wanted to make sure I had that right the first time. Did sound like it was just this and then into here. Or this. My guess is there's just going to be a bar of rest at the end. Let's hear that end one more time. Yeah, probably. Let's switch to the guitar part and see how it goes together. These, in contrast to the drum sections, which were all really long, these sections are pretty short. Oh, it's obviously the end. Okay. start by doing that. Let's not make that mistake again. For starters, it doesn't go from there. Sorry, it's for crying out loud. House, okay. Yeah. It comes in 2 beats in. 2 bars in, rather. Not 2 beats. Excuse me. Nope. Don't do that, stomach. Do not like. Sounds like this, for starters. I'm actually gonna listen to that. And then, yeah, sounds good so far. And it sounds like it goes into this. Back into the other thing. Is it weird that I really like that riff? It's a kind of cool song. No, I don't think it's weird. One of the things I like about this section is I'm like, hey, some of these songs are pretty good. There was one from last week that I actually had in my head for a bit. Yeah, so it's just like this twice. I don't want to jinx it, as I often do, but so far this is a lot easier than the last track I did. Which, the difficulty really fluctuates in weird ways. Yeah, they at least, you wouldn't expect that from a game like this, yeah. They at least put, I think they put effort into writing some fun tunes. Where it goes into this, I think. Yeah, you appreciate it. If it was bad music to listen to over and over, that would be miserable. Agreed. It does, on the other hand, it does kind of make me wonder. There's a lot of one of the things I've commented on multiple times of like Lost Mind and Time Warp is that I feel like there's not that much music in them, and the music loops that do exist tend to be pretty short. It just makes it seem like, you know, you could have music in these games But you choose not to. Oh god, the train puzzle and Lost Mind. Oof. So it's definitely that. Oh, wrong way. Then probably this and this. Let's see. I think so. Yeah, you can stop moving your head now. It's like a half bar. Weird. Alright, let's see how it sounds. I think it's correct.
That's a wrap. Yo, yo, yo. Dr. Brain in the cave.
Oh, no, no. Ugh. I practically, like, saw the voice actor going, like... Alright. Let's see. What do we have today? So let's just listen to the whole piece once through before we get to... Now this one looks like it's gonna be more challenging. Doctor... Yo, yo, yo. Doctor, please stop. Agreed. Yeah, no. Okay, actually... So that voice, is that supposed to be Dr. Brain or is that supposed to be Rathbone? I was not clear on that. Anyway. Okay. Although I feel like one of the pieces we did earlier that was just bass was pretty similar to that. It felt like. You think Dr. Brain? Yeah, I guess probably. Alright, so it's just bass and drums this time, looks like. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oops. Okay. Excuse me. Well, this is one of those where I'm gonna have trouble because they're pretty similar. This sounds like the song on Novice that you got stuck on. Oh. Wait. They put an expert level, an expert puzzle on Novice. It'd be nice if you got like really stuck on a puzzle like that, if you could be like, give me a different puzzle, please. This one is more detailed than the one on Novice. Novice was just the baseline, okay. For me, drums are the hardest in general. Or at least it takes me the longest to get. Okay, let's listen to these segments again. Hold on a sec, I need to try moving the window a little. There. So it ends with a little crash there. I don't think any of the other ones had that. Let me just go over. Well, that did have a little. Not as pronounced. Yeah, okay. Yeah, these two have, and the little, it's the same one too, or the same tone one. Yeah, I'm not good at, I don't know percussion words. It's probably just the end one. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 bars. This one's, so I think these are all 8. Sorry, these are both 8 and these are 4. That last one looks a bit longer than 8. 2, 3. Oh, let me just put it down. I was right, it's 9. Maybe the word you're looking for is gig. You know? Yes, that must be it. I'm just gonna call everything I don't know a gig. Can do this, probably, maybe. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Okay. For starters, I'm pretty sure it starts with this. I need to get a better idea of the number of where the bars go. No, okay. I am not getting the counting right here. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. I'm kind of getting a like 8 and a bit there. Like, taking me a bit longer to get a feel for this one. Okay. And then this is 4, right? 1. Yeah, it's 4. Oh boy. Ah, this is it's definitely gonna be harder than the last one. That look right now is because my Streamlabs mini feed thing just changed from like however long it says Zella has resubscribed an hour ago, and I'm like, but I've been streaming for less than an hour. Yeah, it is weird. So it adds that little extra dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I didn't get to the mute button in time there. Dr. Brain's time warp is affecting our reality. Yep, it sure is. These drum parts that are so similar. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's 2 of these. So I didn't hear that little ksh at the end of the other bars after that, though. So I think after here it goes into these, but it didn't sound quite right. Let's try listening to that again. Actually, I need a minute. It sounds like it's just this one, actually. Am I hearing that right? I'm not sure. It's that toffee. I don't know why I need to limber up my hands for this, but I do. I'm gonna actually play a musical instrument. It doesn't look like it, but this is me playing. I got a drum set under here. And then this one is da, 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 da. Freaking cars. I can't hear over my own burping. Digestion. I need you to work things out silently here. This is hard. Oh, sorry. Just trying to count there. Okay. So I think it was 3 of these. And then this one, I think. That's like, we're close to halfway on the drums. Having a hard time hearing over the funky bass. Okay. It's quite funky. Keep trying. I think this part's correct. Oops. It's the part after that. Yeah, like Les Claypool would be impressed, yes. It's just, it's so funky that it's distracting me from hearing the drums. Looks like the caveman hand has yellow nail polish. Poke, poke. Slap at a bass. Caveman E.T. Oh, because he's got a glowing finger? And again. The difficulty I'm having is that once it's all together, I have a hard time picking out the boom boom part of the drums, which is where a lot of the differences are. Like, and then most of the difference is in the gig, the low gig. The low gig and then the high gig is pretty much the same. It's kind of different. I don't know. Let's try it again. Eventually, I will listen to it enough to have it etched into my brain. No, what? Sorry, the mouse is fucking up all over here. No, come on. There. Too similar. My brain hurts. I have to lean forward to really hear the sounds coming from my headphones. Welcome back. Not tell the freaking difference. Oh, I'm dying. My ears. No. Oh. I think it's this one, but it's really, like, impossible to hear anything. It's so fucking impossible. I need, like, that Data's listening skill where you can listen to, like, 6 pieces of music at once and pick them all out. So it sounded like this. And then, God. Just either this one or this one. Sound kind of the same to me. At least when they're playing together. Why must I have burps and hiccups all the time? It's so annoying. I think it was this one. Let's listen to that. Ugh. I wonder if this would be easier for me if we ever had like percussions in our band classes. Not necessarily from playing them myself, but just by having it in the music learning environment. I just want that last part played on a loop for a bit until I get it. I think now I'm leaning towards this one. I feel like I've listened to this so many times. Can we teach them, like, sheet music? No, caveman days, 1 million years BC and all that. Just jumpstart it, and then I could see the difference. I mean, we gave them a gramophone. I don't know. Oh my god, I cannot. The drum part's always the worst. I don't know, I'm picking one and then moving on because this is starting to piss me off. I'll just swap them around if we get to the end and he doesn't accept my answer. This is just 2 bars. This is 3. 5? 1, 2, 3, 5. 4. Oh, these are all kind of all over the place in terms of length. 3. 8. 5. Whoa. 4. Right. Keeps the position from the other instrument. Okay. This is exactly the same configuration of pieces. I can see where your difficulty came in, Zella. This part looks, I think it'll be a little easier. It's these bits that are... okay. For once, that last segment doesn't sound like a definitive end. One of these has to be the end. That could be an end. I guess let's just get started. Okay, the number of beats is going to be tricky. And then a bunch of rest, and then... Alright. 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. It wasn't clear if it was here or one more, so I'm going to play that together. That sounds right. And then, so... One, 2, 3, 4. think. Yeah, that sounds wrong. Oh, God. Okay. Maybe it's not this one. Maybe it goes into this. Yeah, I think it's instead of the fish. Then what comes after that? I think this doesn't come in until later. Yeah, this is the much later. Wow. What happens if this goes next? No, see, this is what I'm having a hard time piecing together, is that just sounds... Wait. Doesn't sound right either. God damn. None of this sounds right. I don't know, like this. It's just... Okay, I do think that that's gonna be this. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Just out of curiosity, how long is this one? Blah. I think the problem is it's just too funky. It's overloading my funk sensors. Let's listen to the... That's gonna be after another... I'm gonna take a bite break, and even when I get back, it'll be easier to hear the difference between things when I'm not slightly distracted. Alright, I'll be back at a few for more funkiness. Thank you. And now we make stretch. Ears on. Let's get ready for the funkitude. If this goes twice in a row, how does that sound? Yeah, I think that's what we've got here. Yeah, fireworks again. Some really excitable people in our neighborhood. Well, they're just celebrating, hold on a sec. Discovery Day in the Yukon. Let's see how many of those I should do. I think it's just this. And then it goes into this. I think it's just those two. And that. And then some breaks. And then... there. Sorry, I'm having a real hard time with the counting. Okay. think it's 4. I think. Maybe they just want to celebrate another day of living. Good God, why? Ugh. No, that sounds off. I don't think that's the... Because they're rare earth fans, I don't know what that is. Okay, so this is off. That sounds off. It sounded too long, but is it too long by 1 beat or 2? I'm not sure. I also don't know that song, but that makes sense with what you're saying. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's... There we go, let's try that. That sounds better. Alright. First up, before we get too carried away, got that, and then maybe this one. Where does this fit in? See if this does go. And then maybe this one. Maybe. Yeah, mouse. Huh. Right. And then having a hard time fitting this in. Stop clicking things on the timeline. See, that won't work there. It definitely has to go into this. But then this doesn't really follow from that, because it this is not fitting quite right, because each segment has to be used at least once. So these two have not been used yet, so they have to go there. But then this doesn't... No, that's not what I... God damn it. Like, there's no more space on the timeline, but this... Well, let's just play it. See, this thing is like, just doesn't fit anywhere. Where am I supposed to put that thing? I'm almost positive the rules said that each segment is going to be played at least once. All the rock parts shown below the bone line will be used at least once. Doesn't fit anywhere. Can I fit it on somewhere here? Not really. Ugh. It does not go there. It just doesn't. Doesn't quite fit that way either, though. Maybe? Like, it sounds okay, I just don't know if it's correct. I'm not sure I have it quite right. This is not right. Because then it goes dun 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 dun. It should be. There should be a dun dun. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need to put one more. My brain. This is really hard. Be a dum dum, but then and then dun 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 dun. Number. Why can't I get this right? Like, it sounds alright as a song, but it's not right. I think. You know what, I'm just gonna hit the check mark and see what it says.
Let's
Yeah.
try it again. We're meant for bigger things. That
And-
was the longest break we've ever taken. Are you ready to play now?
Huh? That sounds like a line they recorded for early in the process when they were like, we're gonna have the doctor interrupt you every few seconds. And then someone burst into the office and was just like, no! It's probably just because of him being in that time warp. Yeah. Does it feel like I need more bars? Damn it. Sorry. My burp interrupted the exact part where I was trying to listen for. I cannot figure this out. This is not the right number of bars. I can't figure I can't figure this out, but there's supposed to be another, like, where am I supposed to squeeze it in? There's supposed to be another bar like this, but with the... God. Ah. It's not right. Sounds right. Why is it... Where am I supposed to get these extra bars from? Like, this is still the best of the lot, but there's still so much frustration here. Okay, here we go. Got too many bars here, I think. Freaking mouse. Let's just play that first and see how it goes. Okay, I think that's right. So, 2, 3. Shift that down. Now we've got enough bars. Let's figure this out. This has to go in there somewhere. Dun, 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 Okay, I think that's where we're gonna... And then another bump bum. And then maybe instead of this one, you got this.
Let's try it again. We're meant for bigger things. Hey, come on and rock me, Amadeus.
I don't want to use the same pun used in the last game. Let's see if I just swap this out. Is that right?
You
Yes!
finished the puzzle. Congratulations.
Nah, while I actually do like these songs, I'm not gonna keep grinding away at that forever until they run out of songs, I guess. Is this higher than the other one? Yeah, it was. No, that was the last one. Yes. Yeah. Although we can listen to the song. Let's listen to the song. Wait, is that it? Oh my god, I think this is just the... Never mind. I'm pretty sure that was, I guess they didn't, make extra puzzles. Because I am pretty sure that was one that we already did. That was like the first one we did. Well, yay. Yes, what wonders await us in the next minigame? I'm scared.
Monkey see, monkey do. The object of this puzzle is to create as many 3, 4, and 5-letter words as possible. Take turns placing individual letters with the monkey. Creating words will move the hanging stones closer to the door-activating monkey head. Longer words, and words that take advantage of red bonus tiles, move the hanging stones further. It's a tug-of-war between you and the monkey. Words can be formed in all directions, but must stand alone. As the board fills up, letters will disappear in the order they were placed to make room for new letters. As you learn sign language, you'll gain insight into the monkey's next move. Planning ahead will help in being successful, especially on the more difficult levels. By winning the tug-of-war, the door will open to reveal the next step in finding the missing link. Use the doctor's book to find dictionary entries of words. Type in the word you would like to look up. Use the arrows to see either the previous or next entry in the word list. Click on the I to search for a dictionary entry. Use the network button, located in the toolbar, to either join or create a network game.
That was a big info dump. Wow, that was a lot. It's kind of a lot. So, is this gonna be like Scrabble? I guess? But with disappearing words. A network game? Is this... Am I correct in thinking that that this is like, something you could do multiplayer? That's what it sounds like. God, I wish this thing had subtitles. Yeah, it lost me. You know, it would be way better than having someone talk at you for 5 minutes. Just have stuff written down so I can, like, go back to it. Maybe he means you're networking with your opponent. I don't even... Okay. Let's see what it is. Said click on the I to do a networking thing? Never mind, I guess. This is, these are all the letters I have, huh? I don't think this is gonna go well. Which is why I'm going to Genius.
Genius level.
Oh god. So this is what he was talking about, sign language, huh? I don't even... Really? He's not gonna elaborate on this?
Expert level.
Oh, already. So, if you want not sign language, you have to stick with novice. Okay. I think that's... those are... What's the difference between these two?
Genius level.
I'm not sure. See, unfortunately, it doesn't actually really give you an opportunity to learn sign language if you don't already know it. Unless it's in the manual. I wonder if it is in the manual. Well, looks like this copy didn't come with a manual. I'm guessing the last few games in novice level will have sign language. Yeah, probably. I don't think so. The dictionaries for like looking stuff up, you have to type a thing. Like... Those sound effects are weird. It sounds like someone starting to speak but then stopping. Only up to 5. Right, because of course they're not going to have longer words because you can only have 5 letters at a time. Okay. So, if you don't already know sign language, too bad, I guess. I'm gonna... It's been, like... at least 20 years since I learned the sign language alphabet, and it's entirely too long. Bring up a chart. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, P. I always had a hard time with P and Q. I think it's this. P. And then Q. R. S. T. U. V. U and V are the easy ones. These are X, Y, and then I always thought Z was weird. So I could never... Wait, hold on. I have to do it backwards because it's for the other person. So what we have here, I have, okay, it's hard enough with like a realistic drawing of a hand, but these hands are weird. This is L, that's easy enough. This is I. Yeah, that looks right. This is A, I think, which is like, what am I supposed to make of 3 A's, an I, and an L? Wasn't there a thing in Scrabble where if you had no letters you could, or no useful letters, you could redraw something? Ale? Ale, that's a good one. Let's see if I can actually do anything on expert.
A?
How do I use it?
A? A?
Oh, he says the letter.
L.
Oh, okay. Well, how do I use... How do I... You know, like several minutes of instructions and you can't tell me how to use a thing? How do I highlight a letter?
A?
It's like, this one's highlighted and...
I?
I feel like telling me how to do this would have been more useful than click a square. You want to put it on first?
I?
Well, so no, because that's not what I wanted at all.
R.
What? The fuck? I don't even know. I guess...
A? K.
I don't get this. Apparently it's not like Scrabble. Those instructions sucked. AI. So this is an R and a K. Did you say K? Yeah. That's a K. Excuse me. Now I can make rail. No, because I don't have an I. I just can't anymore. So, yeah, it is confusing.
A? N?
I can use my L now.
L. A?
That made a word and nothing happened. Does it have to make a word that fills the whole line? I don't even know. This game sucks. Okay. Let's not judge it too harshly. Before I get a chance to get the hang of it. It's another A. L, A. What's this? N?
N?
Yeah. I'm gonna put here, I guess.
A.
Yeah, how come it didn't... I got a word. This is a word. And it's not it didn't register as one. Not in the dictionary. This game sucks. So I've got an N, so I can make nail.
N.
There.
S.
That's W. It is a perfectly cromulent word. A R. Is that an E?
E.
A-R-E R. I'm still mad that they didn't count my word. This fucking bullshit is what that is. L. Oh, hey. I can put here, law.
W. I.
Another A. Wow, they're really giving me a lot of A's. It's A-R. I can put an A here for area, I think.
A.
Bam.
N.
They're bringing their A game. This one's... It doesn't look quite like G. No, what is that? Doesn't look like... Alright, what letter is it supposed to be?
G.
That is not right. Okay. G. I'm gonna check if nag is in the dictionary because if it's not, I don't want to waste that slot. Yes, it is. Okay. I can put it here then.
G. H.
Where do you even put it? I'm having a hard time with the mouse here. So you just put it here?
H.
Yeah.
I.
I-H. Interesting.
N.
Don't know what he's going for. But I've got another A.
N.
little more variety with these letters. I think he may just be placing letters randomly because he's a monkey and monkeys don't tend to bother with spelling words. Well, he spelled R. And also, it's my opponent, so I don't think the opponent is supposed to be placing things randomly. Like, I don't know how hard the AI is supposed to be, but it's clearly going to be doing something. Maybe I should put the A here. A-N. And... I could put it in a completely new place, I guess. There's just so many A's. I've got a W coming up. Remember what I was saying earlier about the music loops that do exist are just really short and repetitive? Alright, I need to take another bio break. Sorry about this music loop. I'll be back in a few. Yeah, I also can't think of a word that ends in IH. And back. Thank you. But after playing Caveman Rock and hearing those songs, I'm even more mad at these short, crummy music loops. So I'm like, you could have written better music if you wanted to. Yeah, right. Alright, this is mouse problem. Okay. God damn it. There. I-H. A... This is nag. E-N... Nah. We'll put it here and hope I can get something. Or and just not sure where to put this A. I H. This is an N, right?
N?
Yeah, N. And two-letter words in this game? No. Or at least not that one. Are there... Oh, come on, that's a word. Useless piece of crap. Your dictionary needs updating. Did you all use a real dictionary to put this together, or did you just sit and brainstorm all the words you could think of? Ran's a word. Okay. So I could potentially, this is an R? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put the A above the N and hope I could get a chance to use it.
A?
Hope Monkey doesn't use it.
D?
Okay, so this has disappeared. They put a D here. D-A, I think?
D? N?
Oh, D-N. Okay, maybe the monkey is doing stuff randomly. And yet we're still tied. Nah. I'm pathetic. Okay, what can I do with the W? It's a D. W. You don't want to alarm you, but you think he's a little ahead? Really? I feel like these blocks are dead even. I don't see how he's ahead of me. D. Look at the bottom of the blocks though. I don't know. I don't think he's ahead of me. I disagree. Like, they are at different angles, so, but I feel like this is where we were at the beginning. That's all. So N, A, and then L, S. W is a crummy letter. What am I supposed to do with this? Okay, WAD's in there. So I could potentially use that. I don't have any A's coming up though, surprisingly. Wario is crying. Good. I'm sorry, Wario. You'll never be as popular as Waluigi. Yeah, that's right.
E?
I do have... Okay, actually, let me do something. Words hurt. Yeah, especially these ones. Yes, okay, awe is in there. I think I can use that here. Let me just make sure.
A?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
W? A?
What did he just put together? He just did... Yeah, that monkey better not awe block me. Right? Okay, so this one's...
D? N? A?
That's not a word, that's an initialism. That's bullshit. How come... Okay, the block... How come my block didn't move at all when I did that word? I don't know. This is... Now the monkey's ahead, I think. I don't even know. Oh, you bullshit! Bullshit. Did you see that? The A disappeared. I don't understand why sometimes I get a word and it doesn't seem like I progress. Shenanigans indeed.
D. R. A.
Well. Sorry, did you say D or T?
D.
I think it's T. It's just... Okay, whatever. Why is this red?
A.
Why is that one red? It's not the last one you put down.
E.
Should I still put the E here if I don't have an A anytime soon? Is it? Is it the only one that's currently on a star square? I guess. I thought there were more, whatever. I feel like if I put the E there now, I'm just leaving them open to put an A there, because I don't have an A.
E. D. S. N. D.
LS. N. I don't really have a lot to work with right now. Ran. N. E. This is going to be... Like, I know I can move down in difficulty, but since I haven't technically failed yet, I would like to keep trying. For now. Do you need names in this? I mean, you do initialisms. No. Just wondering, because T, yeah, I've got an E, there's a D, anyway. I'm still mad about DNA. Wait a minute! What the fuck? It's not in the dictionary! It's not in your fucking dictionary! Shenanigans! This monkey is cheating.
D. N. A. H. I.
I really don't know where to put this E.
N.
I'm not very good at this. I wouldn't be even good at it even if it didn't have sign language letters. N. Let's see. E. So, I could do so here maybe. I'm gonna check if it's in the dictionary. If the... there. No, almost. Alright. I have to... just... so. Yes. And you have to check because now I know this dictionary sucks.
E.
What? How is that DNAs? What the fuck is that? I don't even know. I hate this game. This monkey can shove it right up his ass.
D. A. H.
Okay, what's going on? He got diagonal points for that.
D. A. H.
Ta? What language is this monkey using? What the fuck?
A. S. H.
Okay, that one's a word at least. Unbelievable. The level of bullshit.
D.
I just... Okay.
D.
Why am I not getting any points for these things?
A. W.
W. Aw, he got an aw. When I was trying to do that earlier. Anyway. I'm getting real cheesed off. I don't understand why my words aren't progressing me at all.
N. R. S. A. S. H. N. S. A.
W. A.
N. G. B. B.
What?
B.
Is he trying to say P? But that's not what...
B.
That's not how you... That's not right. Ugh, this is not making it easier. Apparently after placing a letter, the monkey will make the sign for the next letter he'll play. It did say that, like, watch the monkey for signs, but, it doesn't really help me because there's too much visual stuff for me to follow. I can't read his signs. That's not how you sign B either. That's the thing, is that, I have a hard time understanding what he's saying. Like,
B.
that sounds like it could be either B or P.
D.
That's the same problem I'm having with, like, if I didn't know the sign for T, I would think he might be saying D.
D. I.
Anyway, I think it's supposed to be a P. It's not correct, though. So... V. That is also not a V. I mean, it's close if you just tilt it up, but it's still not quite right, because it looks like it's got like a thumb like this. This is bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit on display right now, and I don't know where to start.
S. N. S. D. B. S. N.
I'm gonna try for something.
N. L.
See, is he signing something right now? I can't tell. Oh, whatever.
D.
T. L. A. And then L. Blank. A. T. T. D. E.
D.
You can't find anything mentioning the bullshit I'm experiencing? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Let's just keep plugging away. See if I can... Yeah, that's what I have experienced so far.
T A H.
He got a diagonal for, I guess, the other way.
H A D.
Hat, okay. But DNAS is still not a word, I maintain. I still maintain that DNAs is not a word.
D. H I H N.
Oh, thank you. DNA's backward as sand. He doesn't like always say... does he say the word? I don't think he says the word. Okay. I could have sworn he said DNA. I must have just been... Yeah, it's I forgot, he said it could be in any direction.
A S H A I A
I'm a little unsure about the short words, like two-letter words. Two-letter words, does it not accept any two-letter words? Like, there's a star here. Is the diagonal the only place you can get this star? I'm placing a T. Minimum 3. That makes this star an especially dickish place.
N S B I R.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. That's that diagonal's the only place to get that one. S. No, T. T is what I'm trying to place.
R S
R, S. No, I can't think of a thing to do with that.
G L A D A
Yeah, that's what I thought that was.
H
E, I, O, U. No, that doesn't work. I was like, there's an H. T, if, off, ath.
G. D.
Gotta put this somewhere.
A.
A.
S.
A. Oh, if I put the T here and I put the S here, I think. So I'm gonna go for it. Hold on, I wanna,
N. H.
NH.
A.
Okay, so I have an A here. I've got a T.
D. S.
S-A-T. Oh, wait. Let's check if it's a word first, because... nope. Yes. Okay. You never know.
D. O.
Bullshit. Asshole. He stole my word.
O. S.
Well, I can still steal it back. Well, sort of. I can put the S here. And then oats. I'm just really mad.
S. A.
And, okay, so yeah, I can see that he's signing, but it doesn't help me because I can't read it. So...
B. B. H. I. A.
There's a lot of stuff that was moving there. Yeah, his hand is hard to read. Alright, I got a couple words there.
R.
Got an R.
O.
Ooh!
I.
I.
O. A. S. H.
Let's see if rash is in the dictionary. Yes! I guess they didn't want to put the other meaning of rash in there?
E. H.
Nah. I was hoping to get a diagonal too. Oh well.
R. F.
What did he just put there?
D. F. A.
Aft, I think? Yeah, okay.
O.
Oh!
H.
H.
E. A. D. O. I. A. H. H. N. A. I.
This monkey is kicking my ass.
O. A. H.
AH. I don't think I can come up with anything there.
E. A. I. A.
Yeah, that area is kind of.
R. D.
Oats. T. Can I use an O somewhere here? Not really? I'm gonna get a barrage of vowels now. O, L. Let's see, O.
A. D. F.
Like, seriously.
O. I. A. H.
Okay, so 3 vowels and then 2 H's. Really not having the best of luck here. Oh. If you have any ideas, I wouldn't mind. I just don't really. I don't know where to put this thing. And it feels like every move matters because I'm just really not good at this. I'm gonna have to call it soon, but like I haven't even properly lost yet either, is the thing. I don't know. T. Yeah, it's just that, like I was saying, it feels like every move matters, so, like, just wasting a turn is what it feels like.
F. R. T. A. H. A. S. R. E.
I'm trying to place an O.
A. D. H.
Wait!
O.
Yeah! I got one!
I.
Where did you put it? Wait, no, where did you put it? Did you put it here?
I.
I think?
A. I. S. F. H. R. O.
O, L, A, C, P.
A. F. H.
Can't really do anything with that.
S. F.
I think I got close to a tie again.
I.
L, A,
A.
L, A, I, P.
R. T. S. A.
A,
H. I. D.
F, what was it, G?
H.
No, H. F, H. R. I. A. I could do air here. Actually, A. If he doesn't steal my spot.
I. A.
Unfortunately. What's that?
A.
Yeah, no progress there for some reason. I don't understand this at all. I don't know why sometimes I get nothing, even if it was an actual word.
E. I. F. E. I. E. R. A.
E, R, A.
A. R. E.
Okay, it's R. Hair? I could do hair.
H.
Okay. I can't read. I just can't read the damn monkey's hand. Another H.
M. M.
M, I think.
A. I. M.
Aim. Yeah, I don't know. I just unfairness, I guess. General bullshit.
F. E. I. R. O.
Oh.
R. L.
Excuse me. Feigned.
E. I. H. B. O.
O, L, C. A. That's an A, that's an O. O. Blank, TS.
H. R. B. I.
P, I. Oh, hip. Hip is a word.
H. U.
Where do you put it? Here?
U.
Yeah. Okay. I just, I feel like the graphics are not quite up to where it needs to be for the sign language to be, easily readable.
U.
So it's probably trying to go for a word here.
O.
U-O, probably not. U-O. Unless he's trying to go like U and put a Y here, but that was definitely not, like when it, unless their Y is really, really off, that can't be it.
H.
So we got U, H, no, that doesn't sound like he's gotta be going for something.
I.
I,
U.
U, H? That doesn't work in any direction. I just know he's I just know he's planning something. I don't trust this monkey. Yeah, sorry, Corey. Well, that was worth checking. Come on.
Oh! H. E. R. A. H. H. A. R.
Right, hair.
U. H. I. U. H.
What are you playing at, monkey?
U. O. I.
UHF!
A. R. O. A. I.
Yeah, not much I can do with that one either. What's this?
A. F.
A, F.
A. I. M.
Right, aim.
H. R.
Where could I put this R?
S. O.
This feels pretty hopeless.
S. A.
A.
O.
I got R, O, R, L, R. Lots of R's. I gotta think of some R words. Gotta think of... What can I do with this? All these R's.
I. U. H.
I, U, H.
A.
A.
F.
A, F.
F.
4? I could put 4 here, maybe?
H. I.
H. I got hip. I'm gonna go for it.
R. O.
I stole my word. Sucks.
R.
I can't beat this monkey. I'm gonna try for ore, like... No, you fucking asshole. I needed that. I hate this game. I can't...
I H R O.
How does the monkey always have just the right letter to snag your word? This monkey's cheating. I needed that A, now I don't have a word.
I A O O H A I O.
Yeah, these were all vowels. I, A, O.
U H
Oh yeah. UHF.
I H
Oh. I don't know what to do. Here, got my ear. I
F E I
F E I
F E I S A
like I've just got no vowels to work with, so I'm like I have to look at what vowels are already there.
B
That's not how you do a P. I'm still mad about that as well. Well, there's different sign languages. Although this was Sierra, maybe they got let's see. No, that's not right for sure. Because all of these, the British ones, require both hands. So it's not, I wonder. What other... I don't know. There's I mean, obviously there's a lot of different sign languages. I'm just kind of curious which one this is, because it seems to be not correct. Not according to... Here we go. MSL. Which language is that? Because that looks more... not quite right, but that looks more like the P. MSL. It might be this one, French. That looks right. At this point, I don't think I don't have time to keep plugging away at this. I'm gonna have to wrap up. I just want to know which sign language this is. Well, I'm not positive it is an American-made game, because if you recall, after the first two Dr. Brain games, Sierra bought another company, and then that company was the one that developed the next two Dr. Brain games. Like, technically still Sierra, but not the same development team, so I'm kind of wondering if the development team was maybe French. I'm looking it up. I want to know now. Sierra acquired another company, Bright Star Technology. Bright Star Technology. I don't really have a lot of info about it. Like, where's it from? Anyway, it looks like it's the French Sign Language. I don't know why. Does seem to be the one, though. Let me just go over. What were the other letters that were not quite right? We haven't seen an H. No, it can't be because the H is not... See, French Sign Language has this for H, which, like, rock on. But... What could it be? Did they, like, mix and match? Huh. I wonder. Maybe there's, because I went over this list. It doesn't appear to be an exhaustive list, but there must be either they're mixing matching, it's yet another language that's not on this particular list, or maybe the team was not very good at sign language and they just looked up, how do you do the sign for this? And picked a result without checking which language it was. I don't know. Yeah, I have to wrap up. I have an early morning appointment and this is just not working. I'm probably gonna have to go to an easier setting, but not now. It's late. Wow, I just went to a list of sign languages, just curious how many there were, and I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. Looks like at least 100. Looks like more, quite a bit more. Anyway. It says about 300-ish. So, I will never know which language it is because there are too many to look up. This music loop, I hate it. It's not as bad as the train one, but it's like, ugh. Yeah. Who are we gonna raid today? I'm gonna raid Penny, C27 Pen. She's playing Fallout 4. Sorry. Looks like I'm ending just in time. It's starting to get a little throaty. The volume, speed, and intensity of the train one made it so much worse, yes. It was very much in your face. This one's at least pretty low-key, but it's also very short, and it keeps, like, hiccuping just slightly. Anyway, try it next week. Hopefully I make some progress. Again, I'm probably gonna have to go down a difficulty, which isn't surprising because I haven't been able to do anything on Genius level so far. God, so... yeah, so that's next Sunday. And Tuesday was gonna be, we're continuing Tales of Monkey Island, looking forward to that. And Friday, we will be playing Final Fantasy 1. Finally, we should be moving on finally from Whisperwind Cove, because I only need like 3 more items, so unless something bad happens. No, why do I keep jinxing myself? Okay. Basically, unless something comes up and I'm not able to grind even for a couple hours, we're gonna be moving on past Whisperwind Cove. On Friday. That's the plan for the week. Let's set the raid and let me stop this awful music loop. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully, make more progress next week. But I have a feeling it's gonna be a big chunk of next week's stream. Alright, have a good week, everyone, and take care. Bye!